Exalt, let them exalt the hosts of heaven.
The title of our Easter meditation is The Witness of the Empty Tomb. The Easter event is surrounded with awe, love, and wonder. It is quite obvious that the immediate followers of Jesus were not convincingly expecting the resurrection. It took them by surprise. Mary Magdalene thought the body was taken away. Peter and the other disciples did not believe until they entered the empty tomb and saw the linen clothes lying on the ground. The rest had to wait for his appearance before they could believe. And Jesus' appearance to the disciples gave them the assurance of faith with which they stood firm in their proclamation. Ironically, the chief priests and Pharisees were expectant. They kept in mind the words of Jesus that he would rise from the dead. So they went and made the sepulchre secure, putting seal on the stone and mounting a guard. Matthew 27 verse 66. However, for those who believed in Jesus, the empty tomb rolled away their doubts. But for those who would not accept him, it opened up their evil thoughts and emptiness. But was it necessary for the stone to be rolled away for Jesus to come out? Definitely no. He could pass through the stone just as he appeared to the apostles in the room, though the doors were locked. John 20 verse 19. What if he came out without rolling away the stone? It was not the open grave that effected the resurrection. He opened the grave as evidence, a landmark and concrete witness to his resurrection, which could be assessed by both believers and unbelievers. Without the open grave, the disciples could have believed through his appearances, but the universality of the resurrection would be difficult to comprehend. The empty sepulchre was a witness to the resurrection, which Jesus himself left for all to see and come to believe in him. Earlier, Jesus accused the Pharisees of being a whitewashed sepulchre, cleaning the outside of the tomb while inside is dead bones, death, and bad odor. Matthew chapter 23, verse 27 to 28. But at this Easter, he goes into the tomb to clean it up. The darkness of the tomb is dispelled by his light. The death in the grave is no more. The grave has become a cave. The tomb is now like a tomb. The tomb was the journey end where sin lures us to. The open grave has exposed the nothingness at the end of the journey of sin. Thus, from this Easter mystery, we can begin to feel the vanity within every law of sin. The witness of the empty tomb becomes our attraction to the new life of the resurrection in Christ Jesus. Our participation in the new life in Christ Jesus, our overcoming of dead actions of sin, is the witness we bear to the resurrection. This witness, expressed in our Easter liturgy, is equally our celebration of the witness to himself which Jesus left behind. Therefore, our participation in his new life becomes our sharing in bearing witness. He himself has given the first and ultimate witness to himself. In other words, the witness to the resurrection is not left to the mercy of human agency. That is why, as we are going to see in the readings of this Eastertide, that all efforts to silence the proclamation by the Sanhedrin proved abortive. And that is why we must remain steadfast in bearing witness to the new life we have received. No matter the situation we find ourselves, the changing times and present difficulties cannot lure us away from witnessing to the resurrection of Jesus by the life of holiness we bear. Amen.
Apart from worldly vices and from the gloom of sin.